Well, it's done and dusted. It is now confirmed that New Zealand will be playing the semi-finals. Pakistan will be playing the semi-final. England will be playing the semi-final. Australia will be playing the semi-final. Who will not be playing the semi-final? Afghanistan won't be playing the semi-final. India won't be playing the semi. No, we got to congratulate New Zealand because they did it well. They did it without any fuss, insult, incident, or injury. They got it done. 125 for 2. Plenty of deliveries to spare. Plenty of wickets to spare. There was never really even a moment of doubt or stress for New Zealand in this chase. Afghanistan had only put 124, and New Zealand was always going to get the job done real easy. It was even easier than you expected. I'm Gaurav Kapur. You're watching Cricbuzz Live. I have Harsha Bhogle and Joy Bhattacharjya here with me. Joy, as almost everybody I grew up with in Delhi would say, to be frank, Afghanistan didn't have enough.
Absolutely. The only false moment in the entire innings chase was when our friend Simon Dolan turned around and said that, New Zealand fast bowlers have always been great fielders. That was the only false moment in the entire chase. Everything else just flowed smoothly through.
Well, New Zealand has made it a habit. We also on our WhatsApp group were having a big discussion about how many semi-finals New Zealand has made. Safe to say, a lot.
Yeah. If they don't, that's news.
Yeah.
They always do. They always.
Correct. You can't count them on two hands, actually. It's more than that. But Harsha, that's such a great line. If they don't make it to the semi-final, that's bigger news. I feel like it's about time that this New Zealand team was not referred to as underdogs or underachievers or, whatever. Just it's about time you count them with the heavyweights because they are.
And I love the way they went about it without a flutter.
Yeah.
It's like I get the feeling someone comes to Ken Williamson and says there's a volcano that's erupted. He'll go out, he'll take a look, he'll gently organize his things, he'll put things in the car, he'll pick up the children, he'll fasten the seatbelt, and he'll gently drive away. He never seems to get flustered by anything. Today, of course, it was much easier because his bowlers, especially the fast bowlers, had played the perfect game for Williamson.
Yeah.
120 odd run chase. You don't need anyone to go and flash their blades around, finish it in 11 overs, 12 overs. I'll go and have a nice net. I'll pick one through. Oh, I picked the wrong one. One through mid wicket. I might dab one here for one. I'm no rush. I'll go and have a net. Yeah, okay. We've got 125. No rush. Absolutely no rush. But what he did was he ensured they were not 30 for 3, which is what Afghanistan, what was their only chance.
Yeah, that's exactly, Joy, what we were talking about even before the game began, which is that Kane Williamson is their sort of fountain of calm. He's their spine. He's the one who keeps it going. And when you have a low chase, like a 6.5 and over chase, well, then you don't worry about it because he's got you covered.
He's got you covered. And one of the things that, again, Conway had a chance to show that he's a very, very decent player of spin, which he is. Yeah. And, he picked up the rate at the right time, swept a couple of balls, impressed people who might be looking for him for the auction. So all around, it was a sort of satisfactory result for all concerned. Just not enough on the board, and therefore, really soporific, period of cricket simply because they didn't need to take any chances.
Why did you have to use that word?
What is that? What is that word? What did you just say?
He said soporific.
Soporific.
Yeah.
What?
Not
sir, please. I am also here, sir. I'm also here. Please explain. Please explain.
Sleep inducing. Unlike so terrific, soporific.
Okay. What I would say is snoozy.
Yeah.
Yeah? Snoozy. Because I use millennial words, they're smaller.
But they've got to fit into an Instagram story, correct?
That's right, which is only how many seconds, Harsha? Come on.
12.8.
12.8. Oh, so close. Almost as close as his prediction was. Harsha had said it will finish in the 17th over. Well, finished in the 19th. But, we have another game, of course, today. And we can get our guessing game on for that as well. We'll do it a little easier. We'll figure out power play scores on the next one. That's what we'll do. But for this one, if we were just to, forget about this kind of snoozy chase that they did right now. It doesn't need to be. Here's the thing. If you can get from one place to the other on a simple toy train ride. It doesn't need to be a roller coaster. Don't make it a roller coaster if it doesn't need to be, right? So let's have a look at the points table as well and how things. Yeah, job was to win the game. It was like a quarterfinal for New Zealand. They did it. They got it. They're on to 8 points. That's exactly what Pakistan is at. Pakistan, of course, has a chance to make it to 10 points. And now India, even if they win against Namibia tomorrow, or when they win against Namibia tomorrow, can only get to 6. So that seals the deal here. Both New Zealand and Pakistan have qualified. You feel like Pakistan will go on top of this. Otherwise, as it stands right now, it's New Zealand that is slated to play Australia, and Pakistan that is slated to play England. That's not how it's going to end, is it, Harsha, though? Today is not going to end like that.
No, because they've got a game in hand. They've got a game in hand. They're playing against Scotland. I think it should be a quick finish. Scotland have shown what they have, and while a lot of it is admirable, it's not enough. So it's like saying, I have a nice catapult. One day I will have a gun, and I'm not belittling them, but at the moment they're little distance away from where Pakistan are at the moment. So they will get their 10 points and go through. New Zealand just so efficient. They're so efficient. You think efficiency, you think German cars.
Yeah.
You think efficiency, you think New Zealand. The question is, can they bring this efficient game in a semi-final to try and go past England? It's going to be an England-New Zealand semi-final. Can they bring this efficient game to beat England? Or this track was a 165, 170 kind of track for a good batting side. If England go and make it a 175, 180 game, do New Zealand have the game to win a 180 match? That is the only thing you want to look at. And I'm not convinced.
See. The first semi-final. So England will play in Abu Dhabi. It's going to be played right here. So if New Zealand plays England, which is what looks likely, they're going to be playing in Abu Dhabi. Whereas Pakistan, if they qualify on top, will be playing Australia. That will happen in Dubai. So 10th and 11th, that's when they play these two games. But it's a good question, Joy, that Harsha asks. Can they bring this efficiency against England? For England, of course, spanner in the works. Jason Roy has gone for a scan. You don't know if he'll be back or not. How big is the loss for England if Jason Roy can't take the field in the semi-final?
It's a huge loss. It is a huge loss, no matter what they say. And if they have a lot of firepower still. But what Jason Roy gave them up front, Jason Roy and Josh Butler were the scariest pair, when you start off this tournament. And, that's the danger. That New Zealand's thing with England is that here they were playing with those 6 batsmen and 5 bowlers with Santner at 7. Now, against an English attack, I don't know whether that's the wisest decision because England is quite a capable attack. Perhaps it's not that easy to play it. The second is the advantage of that 6th bowler against an England team. I'm not sure because they're going to go bang, bang, bang till 8. They really don't care. The way they play their game is they might keep losing wickets. They're not going to keep, nobody's going to stop hitting until it reaches a 40 for 5 or something like that. And so,
interesting.
The point is that it's,
Will New Zealand make a change? That's interesting. Will New Zealand change the philosophy if they're playing against England in the semi-final? Wow.
So that's my point. That do you stick with what made you win, or do you change to play a team that's better than you? My rule always on this is that, whenever you look at teams to match up and say that I'm playing A is playing against B, the team that has more to do, the team that thinks he has less of a chance of winning, are the guys who should do stupid, brave things. Because, your chances of winning are low anyway. If you're even, it's almost impossible to change. Or if you're superior, you're a better team, you're unlikely to change. So, if anyone has to change, I think New Zealand will have to sort of do it around.
Yeah, Harsha, you think?
England have been the team of the tournament.
Yeah. You talked about Jason Roy. With most teams, Roy would have been a huge loss. Even for England, it's a huge loss because I think he allows Butler to play his game because Roy goes for it, boom, boom, up front. Butler will bat through at a very good pace. But now straight away, Roy goes out, Bairstow comes back up to open the batting. Liam Livingstone goes into number 4. Moeen Ali is still the floater, depending on how it goes. And Sam Billings comes in as a finisher. So they just change slots. So Billings comes into Livingstone's slot. Livingston comes into Bairstow's slot. Bairstow comes into Roy's slot. So from that point of view, they'll fit in all right. It's just that Roy has the pedigree of having played big games. I don't see. He was on a crutch yesterday. So I don't see him coming back into this game. But from New Zealand's point of view, what New Zealand have to do? They left out Seifert to play Santner.
So Adam Milne, they got him
Yeah,
Fair
they'll
enough.
stay with Mill. They'll stay with Mill because they'll want the three fast bowlers. So they'll probably leave out someone like a Santner if they have to, and play additional batting with Seifert, depending on the kind of surface it is. But what that'll do straight away is it'll make Jimmy Neesham virtually a 4 overs bowler. And you see, even in the IPL, wherever he's played as a 4 overs bowler on a very good batting surface, you've struggled to get 4 out of him. Then they'll have to go back with 2 to Daryl Mitchell, and hope you can get two more out of him. That means none of the other bowlers have any leeway. So that is why I think they might just say, look, it's the job of the 6 batsmen to score the run. Santner is a perfectly capable batsman, but I think it's really Williamson's his comfort level. Am I happy going in with 4 bowlers and a little bit here and there to finish 5, or am I far more comfortable playing with the spin bowling all rounder?
Interesting. That will be England, of course. That'll be New Zealand, of course, who perhaps will be playing England in the semi-finals. Not sure, but
that's
it
Dubai.
will be
That's Abu Dhabi,
in a
right?
couple of
And
hours.
that's a bigger
Abu Dhabi,
ground.
yes.
Yeah, that's a bigger ground, so they can play the spinner.
Okay, let's talk about Afghanistan because it's goodbye to them as well from the World Cup. Joy, the positives for you that have come out for Afghanistan from this World Cup?
I think as batsmen, Gulbuddin, Najibuddin, Zadran, they have just given themselves a little more pedigree, a little more experience of playing international sides. They look decent. I mean, Zadran especially was spectacular. I think that's the strength, because I think we always knew their bowlers were good. And of course, Hamid coming back to do whatever he did, I know today was not a particularly good match, but for somebody to come back from where he was literally out of the side, not in contention. But I think that's what they've competed in many matches. I remember that Pakistan match, and I think Afghanistan will go and look at that and say, those 3 sixes in the last over, I mean, Asif Ali in the 90th over rather, who finished it off for us. Things could have gone differently for them. They challenged at the top level, not today. But there's plenty to take back. Everyone knows Rashid and Mujib's undoubted talent. And I think they just get better and better.
If you look at it across a tournament, this was a 5-game tournament. An IPL is a 14-game tournament. A Big Bash is a long tournament. Across a tournament, what did we learn from Afghanistan? That Rahmanullah Gurbaz is a potentially a very good batsman. That Najibullah Zadran has made the move to becoming their cornerstone in the middle order. But apart from that, they confirmed what we knew. We didn't learn anything new about Afghanistan. That they are several leagues ahead of their erstwhile peers, which is the Ireland and the Scotland and whatever. They have gone significantly above them, but they've not yet become a serious challenger to the other side. So they're sort of in that in between role. If they had managed to sneak home against Pakistan, I think that might have made a difference. But that is what the good teams do. No, the good teams have a player to take them out of every situation. So to me, the big positive for them is Zadran. The other little positive is Rahmanullah Gurbaz. I'd expected a lot more from Naveen ul Haq, to be honest, because I keep seeing his bowling figures in franchise cricket around the world. But I see him as a bowler who keeps taking pace off. So I want to see him bowl 135 if he's bowling that. If he's just the pace-off bowler, I don't know. I mean, he was against better teams. I think he got found out a little.
Well, interesting what you say about Afghanistan. They're kind of in no man's land. They've immigrated from the associate nations, but they haven't fully completed the paperwork to come to the full member nations yet. They're kind of stuck a little bit.
It will take time. Yeah. Look at Ireland, Netherlands. They never made that jump up. Even though Ireland is a test match playing country, they're still bunched really in that group. True. What Afghanistan have managed to do is they're straight into the Super 12s, already into the next tournament. They don't have to go through. They're ahead of West Indies and they're ahead of Sri Lanka. So West Indies, Sri Lanka go into stage 1 for the next. Yeah. How Bangladesh? It must be strange. Bangladesh were the most disappointing team, lost all 5, lost to Scotland, and yet managed to finish in the top 8. So there's
interesting. Okay, listen, we're going to wrap it up for now, and then we're going to come back in about 20 minutes. We have another game today, which is Pakistan Namibia. It's Pakistan and Scotland. It is important because it depends on confirmation of who will be playing with semi-final. There's obviously England and Australia sitting in wait to find out who their opponent is. Pakistan, of course, expected to win that match against Scotland. We saw the first one was a walk in the park. We expect this one to be a little canter in the field. That's what we expect this to be. That's how we expect this one to be.
I think whatever happens, Pakistan will bat first. Pakistan will win the toss. They want to bat first, right? They want to get 20 overs in. They want to get some other people in. I only hope if Scotland win the toss, they don't want to field first.
You want an early night, right? That's what you want. You want an early night. Why
No,
not? It's fine.
I don't
It's
know
okay.
what
There's no
Scotland
shame.
will learn.
You don't have to
I
watch
don't know what
all the
Scotland will
cricket
learn.
that is ever played, Mr. Bhogle.
No, I don't know what Scotland will learn by putting Pakistan in. Scotland will learn more about their game by batting first.
There you go.
Suppose
So
they put
Scotland-
Pakistan in and Pakistan make 200. What are you going to learn about your batting? You're going to learn about your batting by going up front early against Shaheen Afridi and Aris Rauf. If you put Pakistan in and Pakistan make 200, what are you going to learn about your cricket from there?
That's absolutely true. So, looks like Pakistan wins the toss. They bat first. If Scotland wins the toss, they should bat first. Will they or won't they? We'll know at 7:10 Indian Standard Time. So, whichever part of the world you're in, don't do the math. Just come back in 20 minutes. We'll be right here. Big thank you to Joy Bhattacharjya and Harsha Bhogle. I'm Gaurav Kapur. This was Cricbuzz Live, and it will be Cricbuzz Live again in 20. We'll see you then.